Hi, everyone. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, you're going to do an oral retell. That means you're going to tell the story with your words for second grade journeys lesson 24. And our story is the folktale Half Chicken. So for this lesson, you're also going to turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer. Then you're going to pair up with a partner, or you could be my virtual partner. And then you're going to share out your thinking in a complete sentence or sentences out loud. So, since you're going to retell the story out loud, it's good to review our vocabulary words. Number one, tumbling, turning over and over, falling, and I highlighted the synonyms, turning over and falling. Number two, flung, thrown over or threw hard, tossed or hurled into the air. And again, I highlighted in yellow the synonym, hurled, it means the same. Number three, tangled, mixed up or twisted together, tangled. And a synonym for tangled is twisted, also highlighted in yellow. Number four, empty, nothing in it, unfilled. And a synonym for empty is unfilled. It's highlighted in yellow. Number five, swift, moves fast, can move quickly. And another word for swift is quick, also highlighted in yellow. Number six, peacefully, calmly, worked happily together. And another word for peacefully is calmly. Number seven, stream, small or narrow body of water, a creek or brook. And another word for stream is creek or brook. Number eight, blazed, burned brightly and strongly, flamed. And another word for blazed is flamed. Folk tales. What are folk tales? Folk tales are stories that have been told orally from generation to generation. So that would mean the stories are told out loud using someone's words, and a grandfather or a grandmother may tell a story to their grandchild, and then when the grandchild grows up, they tell it to their children and grandchildren, and when their children grow up, they tell it to their children and grandchildren. So it's retold orally from generation to generation. Folk tales. Moral. What is a moral? A moral is a lesson about life that a fable teaches. The moral can usually be found at the end of the story. So here's our learning target. I can retell the folktale Half Chicken using pictures, words, and sentences. Remember, you're going to orally retell the folktale Half Chicken using pictures, words, and sentences. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at retelling the folktale Half Chicken? Well, here are your steps to success. Number one, I will answer the talk about it questions. Number two, I will say and match the main characters and setting. Number three, I will write or match the lesson or moral of the story. Number four, I will put the retelling pictures in the correct sequence or order. Number five, I will write or match each picture, saying what happened first, later, next, and last. Here's our first major event. You can reread about it in our Journeys textbook on 318 to 319. Look closely at the pictures. Here's your first question. How is Half Chicken different from the other chicks? How is Half Chicken different from the other chicks? Well, Half Chicken is different because Half Chicken is different because, so say it out loud. Well, Half Chicken is different because Half Chicken has half of everything, only one eye, one wing, one foot, half of everything. What are the other animals doing in the picture? What are the other animals doing in the picture? The other animals are, well, the other animals are looking curiously at the chicken because the chicken only has half of everything. And they're quite excited. It looks like the horse is excited and the cows are excited. And everyone is looking at chicken and saying, "Oh, did you see that? Chicken, it only has half of everything." Next, major event. Look closely at this picture. You can reread about it on pages 321 to 324 of our textbook. Why does Half Chicken leave the ranch? Why does Half Chicken leave the ranch? Where is he going? Why does Half Chicken leave the ranch and where is he going? He leaves because he is going to, well, he leaves because he realizes that he must be special. So he wants to go to the palace and talk to the viceroy. So he is going to the palace to talk to the viceroy. How does Half Chicken help the stream? How does Half Chicken help the fire? And how does Half Chicken help the wind? So remember from the story, Half Chicken helps the stream, the fire, and the wind. How does he do that? He helps the stream by, he helps the fire by, he helps the wind by, well, if you remember, he helps the stream by getting, I think it got clogged up or stuck. So he gets it unstuck. He helps the fire by blowing on it and fanning the flames because it was almost out. And he helps the wind get untangled because it got tangled in the branches and leaves. Here's our next big event. You can reread about it on pages 326 to 327 in our Journeys textbook. Look closely at the picture. Where is Half Chicken and who does he want to talk to? Where is Half Chicken and who does he want to talk to? Well, Half Chicken is, and he wants to talk to, well, Half Chicken finally arrived at the palace. So Half Chicken is at the palace and he wants to talk to the viceroy. How do the guards trick Half Chicken? How do the guards trick Half Chicken? Well, the guards trick Half Chicken by, the guards trick Half Chicken by telling him to go to the entryway where the kitchen is. So he goes to the kitchen instead of to the viceroy. And who is in the kitchen? Well, here's our last major event. You can reread about it on pages 330 to 331 to answer the questions. How does Half Chicken get out of trouble? Because he goes to the kitchen and he gets in trouble. How does Half Chicken get out of trouble? Well, the fire helps him, the water helps him, and the wind helps him. What happens? The fire, the water, and the wind. They all do something. Well, Half Chicken gets flung into a pot by a cook because he's a chicken. And the fire is on the stove. So the fire gets put out by the water. So the water puts out the fire, and the wind, once the chicken gets out of the pot, the cook flings or flung the chicken out the window and says, "Useless chicken." And the wind, as the chicken is tumbling down in the air, the wind picks up the chicken and puts the chicken on top of the rooftop and saves the chicken from falling. Why does the story begin and end by showing a weather vane? So, this is a weather vane that sits on top of houses or barns. They look like half chicken. The story begins and ends with a weather vane because the story begins and ends with a weather vane because well, at the beginning of the story, it says, "Have you ever wondered how the weather vane came to be?" And so this is really telling why we put weather vanes on top of houses or barns. And so at the end, half chicken is a weather vane because it got blown up to the top of the house and there's only half of a chicken and it goes wherever the wind. It turns wherever the wind is turning, so you know which way the wind is blowing. All right, now it's time for you to retell Half Chicken. Retell of Half Chicken. The main characters are, who are the main characters? The most important characters. The main characters are, well, the main characters are Half Chicken, fire, wind, and water. So say that out loud. The main characters are half chicken, fire, wind, and water. The setting is, where does the story take place? The setting is, well, the setting is in Mexico City, in the country in Mexico City, and in the city itself, because the viceroy was in Mexico City. So let's put the pictures in the correct sequence or order. First, later, next, last. What happens first in our story or folktale? First, Half Chicken was special because, why is Half Chicken special? First, Half Chicken is special because, well, first, Half Chicken was special because he only had one wing, leg, and eye. News about him spread to the swift horses as well as the cows who grazed peacefully. Later, what happened later? Half Chicken decided to, later, Half Chicken decided to go to Mexico City. On his way, he helped unblock the stream, fan the fire so that it blazed, and free the tangled wind. Next, what happened next? Next, Half Chicken arrived at, next, Half Chicken arrived at, Well, next, Half Chicken arrived at the palace to see the viceroy. The guards tricked him and sent him to the kitchen instead. Once there, the cook flung him into a pot of water. Last, what happened last? Well, once he was in the pot of water, the water put out what did the water do first? The water put out the water put out the fire that was on the stove. Then the cook flung the chicken out the window. As he was tumbling in the air, the wind blew him to the safety of the rooftop. So the water and the fire and the wind were all able to help Half Chicken. In the end, Half Chicken learned that. What did Half Chicken learn? In the end, Half Chicken learned that helping others can help you too. Remember, Half Chicken helped the water, the fire, and the wind, and in the end, the water, the fire, and the wind helped Half Chicken. And that's how we got the weather vane. Let's reflect on the learning target. What was our learning target? I can retell the folktale Half Chicken with key details using pictures and words. How do you think you did? Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily answered the questions, and I retold the story using 4 details out loud. Or would you give yourself a 3? I could help someone with this lesson. I answered most of the questions. I retold the story using 3 details out loud. Or would you give yourself a 2? I understood some of the lesson. I answered some of the questions. I retold the story using 2 details out loud. Or would you give yourself a 1? I did not understand this lesson. I had a hard time answering the questions, and I retold 1 detail or less. How do you think you did? 4, 3, 2, or 1? So, boys and girls, I want to challenge you. Get a piece of paper and draw a picture of your favorite part of the folktale Half Chicken. Then write 1 or more sentences about that part. You can say what's happening in the story and why it's your favorite. All right, everyone, thank you for retelling the story Half Chicken with me. Have a great day.